So let's kick off this lineup with wise Tony Subramony. Welcome, Tony.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you back here with us this
Awesome
morning.
to be back. Yeah, thank you so much.
And the topic of conversation this morning is an interesting one, hey?
It is indeed, yes.
So Tony's talking to us this morning about overthinking. And don't we all have that problem?
Yes, we do. Yeah, the art of creating problems that weren't even there. That's
We're
really
good at
what
that, right?
overthinking is all about. And I think what's happened over the recent months with the lockdown and the pandemic and all the other stuff that goes with it, a lot of people have lost the routine that they're so used to. And with that has come, loss of employment and loss of income and online schooling and working from home and all the other changes that had to take place.
And we as human beings don't take too well to change.
Yes.
It's not our forte in most cases.
So in many instances, we get stuck through overthinking. And this overthinking becomes another way of living our lives, which is totally unproductive. It's like paralyzing through analyzing.
Well,
you just become paralyzed through so much of the analyzing that we do in our thought process. To start off with, we must remember, and I want to encourage the viewers to understand, that we're not our thoughts. We need to be independent of our thoughts. Once we identify with the fact that we're independent of our thoughts, then we can change those thoughts. It's not just an autopilot thing. It's not automated that we have to go with the thoughts that we process, right? And also we have to understand that overthinking is a byproduct of either depression or anxiety.
Yes.
So if you are, struggling with depression or anxiety, get the necessary intervention, whether it's medical or psychological intervention. And then you'll realize that you're not going to be focusing on overthinking excessively.
Yes.
Overthinking is basically thinking too much or too long on something.
And as you mentioned, when we find ourselves overthinking, we generally are worrying about something.
Yes.
We're worrying, we're stressed out.
Yeah.
Yes,
Now, there's two aspects that come into being when we're looking at overthinking. One is that we're ruminating. It's a collection of thoughts that bring us down to being sad, being disillusioned, being disappointed, and we just kind of roll in that very low energy level.
Yes.
And the other one is, as you talk about, incessant worrying. And that's constantly what you're looking at, and you're also looking at the disastrous predictions that you're actually processing in your mind without it really happening.
Which only exists in your mind, right?
And when we talk of worrying, it's like sitting on a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it gets you nowhere.
I like that.
Right?
That's
So
a good one.
how do we overcome overthinking? What do we do? Number one is to identify those destructive thoughts, right? And destructive is quite a strong word, but in reality, you have to understand they are more destructive than productive.
Yes.
Right? So when you identify with the destructive thoughts, you're able to take control of your thinking process, right? And remember, you have the ability to change your thoughts. I always say this as well. Secondly is manage your story. We're always telling ourselves stories throughout the course of the day. What story are we telling ourselves when we're going through the process of overthinking? And we again change your story and your results will change. Right? Also, focus on solutions. It's commonly said that in every problem, you'll find a solution. And if we, sit down and take cognizance of the fact that there is a solution in every problem, and you focus on that, you're not going to really paralyze yourself through analyzing the problems that you're going through and the situations you're going through.
And your whole mindset will
Absolutely.
shift, If
Absolutely.
you're focusing on how can I fix this problem or how can I find a solution.
Yes.
Instead of the 20 million things that can go wrong.
Yes, because we always think of what could go wrong and very little focus on what could go right.
Yes.
Right? So when you're focusing on solutions, you reach out to people and you reach out to organizations, whatever, that can help you to come up with a solution that you so desire.
Yes.
Right? The other thing is manage your emotions. All right? There's nothing wrong in being sad or being overwhelmed with what's going on, but don't become overwhelmed and live in it for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Right? You have the opportunity to move on and look at, and you talk quite a lot about embracing happiness.
Yes.
And that's a choice you make. It's not about the environment, it's not about the reality of what's going on around you. It doesn't dictate, that is not going to determine the level of happiness that you enjoy as well.
Yes.
All right? And also to look at the difference between what is the difference between fear and intuition. And a fear simply is false evidence appearing real. false evidence appearing
I like
real.
that.
Right?
Yes,
Because
yes,
we're
that's a good way
creating
to
this
remember
false
it.
evidence and we're thinking that that's what the reality is going to be like. But there's no substantial evidence to confirm that that is true. Most often it's false. That is why I always say overthinking is the art of creating problems that are not even there.
That's true, and we're all guilty of that one,
Yes,
right?
we're all
are
guilty of that thing.
one.
Now, when you're looking at the difference between fear and intuition, intuition is basically going with the flow, right?
Yes.
You've got a gut feeling, go with it without having to analyze, without having to overthink it, and make the decision. When we are analyzing, overanalyzing, we actually don't make a decision.
No.
And
We're too caught up with all the thoughts.
yeah,
right?
and the last thing I want to say is I want to encourage the viewers to make a decision. It could be wrong, but it could be right.
True.
But at least you've made the ability, the attempt to make a decision. And that's very, very important to overcome overthinking. So I want to encourage everyone this morning to embrace the suggestions I've made and embrace your oneness.
Wow.
It is so crucial that we do that, especially in these trying times right now. That's my take for the day.
Thank you very much. It was such a great chat, just chatting with you about it, and I'm sure the viewers got a lot from it. Remember, get your mind in check, sort out those overthinking thoughts, and make good decisions for today and the rest of the week. And next up, we'll be chatting with the lovely, multifaceted Kim Bishop. So stay tuned for that.